Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Peter Du Toit and my good friend Rob Moore back again, saying it like it is. And hopefully you've enjoyed the shows. We're loving it. We're having fun. Hopefully you're having fun. Don't forget, please, to like and subscribe. It's what keeps us going. Player of the season, young player of the season, coach of the season. Let's start with a big one, because for me, this is actually not as easy as people think, but I think it can only come from one team. Player of the season.
For me, Ronwen Williams. You know,
hang on, Rob. I think we have to have a disclaimer here. If my memory serves me correctly, he's your player.
He's my player, 100%. But Peter, what he's achieved this season is remarkable. At the end of the day, if you look, and I'm taking league statistics because that's bread and butter, right? That's the main thing. If you look at league statistics, he's kept 16 clean sheets in 23 starts as we are today doing this discussion. That means he's kept clean sheets in 70% of the matches that he started. And he's conceded a goal only every 259 minutes. So that means nearly 3 games have to go by before he concedes in his third game, he concedes a goal. Now, you would say the counter argument would be, well, PSG run away with the league. They win the league by 15 points. I'm sure Donnarumma has a lot of clean sheets. Peter, last season when PSG won the league by 15 points, Donnarumma, in the league games he played, 29% only of his games, league games, were clean sheets. So, Courtois, Real Madrid won the league last year by 13 points from Barcelona. 44% of the games he started, he kept clean sheets. Ronwen Williams, 70% of the games he's played, he hasn't conceded. That is remarkable in my book. And Peter, at 30, just turned 31, and captain of Bafana, who captained Bafana to their first Nations Cup qualification since how long? Since 2017, maybe?
Yeah. Well, Bafana doesn't count into this, but okay. I'll give you that he's had a fantastic season, and he did displace Onyango, and that's because Onyango, in my opinion, was probably the best in Africa. And I didn't realize his stats were that good. I'll give you that. But I want to say 2 things. Is one, you're a goalkeeper yourself, so you lean that way. And secondly, he's your player. But I concede he's had an absolute season, and you've opened my eyes. I agree he's a contender. But for me, I'm also an ex-striker myself. The guys who score the goals get the gifts. And if you look at Sundowns, Peter Shalila, outstanding. 48%, I think, what's his record? At 48% of the games he plays, he scores.
48% of the games he starts, he scores.
And then, but actually, who I would give it to, funny enough, because I think Saleng has had an outstanding season. He's more of a wide player. He scored 17 goals so far this season. I think he's had an incredible season in a decent team. And my vote, I think he's a player. I think that if he made the Premier League, South African Premier League earlier, could play overseas. I think he's had an outstanding season. I think he's been a driving force, the go-to man for Pirates. But I think it's between the 3 of them. And I think we can leave the rest we can hear what the listeners and the viewers have to say.
I want to say one more thing, Peter, one more thing. Okay? I want to say one more thing.
Yeah.
I was a goalkeeper, you were a striker. I made one mess in a game. It was back of the net. You could miss 5 chances and score the 6th. And you win 1-0, you were the hero. Okay?
Rob, you're wrong there. I never missed 5 chances. But anyway.
So I think for every clean sheet, for me is equivalent of at least scoring a goal and a quarter per game. So Ronwen Williams would be, by that calculation, have a 20 league goal season this season so far.
I wish you were my banker. I'd have twice the amount of money I have. Anyway, that's another story, Rob. Let's go to, again, this one is a no-brainer in my head, although is young player this season.
Okay.
You know who I'm going to say. Who are you going to say?
You tell me who you're going to say.
Oh, no, I know you're going to come up with an obscure goalkeeper.
Uh, Give it to me. Tell me.
No, only Cassius, the Cassius Clay.
Cassius Mailula.
Yeah.
Nice player. Fleming Berg calls him his own Romario, which I can see some similarities. Not
Maybe
bad.
maybe in the height. That's it.
Yeah, but no, but Peter, Cassius Mailula, by the time this season's finished, 30th of June, he's 22 years old. What's the definition of a young player of the year?
Well, I think if you're under 23 in South Africa, you're a young player. I agree with you. He should be, if he was 19, he would be going overseas straight away without a discussion. At 22, I think he should be playing more games than he actually does play. And I'm concerned about, his physical presence. I'm not talking about height. But I think he scores goals in the Champions League. He makes an impact whenever he plays. He's very good in front of goal. And
I like him.
We're not talking about his future. We're talking about his current. And I think from a current point of view, he's had a bigger impact. And by the way, he's done it in Sundowns. And it's not an easy team for you to come in as a 22-year-old or at any age. I mean, Sundowns have got players that I think that should walk into every other team that don't even get the bench. Kafinga is the player that I really like. That doesn't even get a regular game. So I think Cassius coming in there, just getting into that team, but the impact he's made is I think he has to win it. But I know you've got a couple of, I can just see in your eyes.
But I like Cassius. I like him. I mean, I've watched a number of his games and his touch and his eye for goal and his movement. I like it. I like it.
I'd like to see a bit more by the way, I'd like to see a bit more off the ball from him and a little bit more aggression from him just as a player. But in fact, a lot more aggression from him. I'd like to see him drive players as well, because I think he can become that kind of player. But that's not the discussion right now.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Otherwise,
for me, an interesting one. Okay, there's this 18-year-old boy at Stellenbosch, Mokwena, centre half.
Yeah,
Peter, he's played the last, I think it's 15 games in a row, 90 minutes, as an 18-year-old central defender.
Yeah.
For me, that's remarkable, because generally speaking, and you're talking about Stellenbosch, who had their back against the wall in around December, I think, in the league. So it was pretty ballsy by Steve Barker to put an 18-year-old in 90 minutes week after week when you're going through a bit of a wobble. So clearly the coach has got a lot of faith in him. And I just think that, and he's played a lot of minutes, over 1,374 minutes so far, up until today when we recorded this. And so for me, that's a really interesting one that one has to consider as well.
Is he your player?
No, not at all.
You're not negotiating with him this very second?
Not at all. Not at all.
Give me that. Okay, coach of the season. You go
Who
first.
do you think?
Listen, the obvious coach of the season has got to be Rulani Mokwena. I think he's made a Sundowns team, and this is a big task, a big ask, taking a Pitso Mosimane Sundowns team and making it better. I think that's a hell of an achievement. Their records are better. They play more attacking football. I even think their shape is better. They play at a better pace. Yes, they're having a wobbly right now because the guys have won the league and so on and so forth. It's not easy to keep a big squad of players happy. He seemed to manage that. I'm very excited about him because he's still a young coach, yet he's achieved so much. And most importantly, he's had knocks. I mean, he had a knock at Pirates, he had a knock at Chipper, and he's come back and very quickly not been afraid to take the reins. I mean, he could have sat as an assistant coach there and earned big money and been safe. So he's taken a risk. And I think that risk should be rewarded, by him being the coach of the year. But more than that, I think that risk should show, and I don't know if this kind of thing is going to happen, but it shows, the most important thing, it shows himself that he's got the ability to take risks. And that's the kind of thing, if I was an overseas, I think he deserves to somehow find a career overseas, Rob. And that may be something that... And there's not something set up, by the way. There's something that I think he could be the first coach in South Africa if he's prepared to probably take a drop in salary, because they probably pay more in Sundowns, I think he's got a chance to win the Champions League. I think he's a future Bafana coach if he continues learning. If he stays at Sundowns for 6-7 years, I think he's a wasted opportunity on ability. He'd probably make more money, but I rate him. And the other guy, I think that should be in contention, that and I think we've spoken about it previously, is Gavin Hunt. I mean, he's done well. If he comes second with that squad, goodness me, it's a good performance. But he hasn't won a league. I still think I'd give it to Rulani. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I really am fond of Rulani. I think, I've met him. I've spoken to him a number of times. He's got a passion for the game.
Yeah.
He's a good human being. He people's personalities, people's characters, people's natures, those kinds of things matter to him. And I think he's achieved what he's achieved it's been the epitome of consistency and professionalism, But Peter, underpinned at the end of the day by a well-constructed playing squad, playing an attractive possession-based game, And I think that I'm with you 100%. Kudos to Rulani. He's been magnificent, and I think, the potential is there for the future. Going overseas, always complicated if you're a coach. Not only less money, you need to be prepared to maybe start lower. That's just the nature of where it is. Okay.
It's much tougher going overseas. There's a prejudice against.
No, 100%, 100%.
I'd be much rather so anybody, even if it's done phenomenally well. But
I will also. But Peter, I will also agree with you on Hunty. Hunty was, when I owned 7 Stars, was my coach.
Yeah.
And we always laugh about how I used to have him on the couch on a Friday and talk to him about tactics and talk about this. And I think he just indulged me. He thought, well, that's the owner. Just okay. Let me just sit on the chair and listen.
I think your fridge was open.
But Hunty, for all of the things that he's achieved in previously of winning leagues and titles, I did say to him early on in the season, Gavin, if you win the league with this squad, it'll be probably your best ever league that you've won. Because SuperSport, Peter, SuperSport aren't what they were.
No.
They've sold their best players. They've spent hardly any money in replacing. With what they've got, by rights, they should be 6th, 7th in the league. Yeah, it's a miracle what he's achieved. But I think, as you know,
too hasty in getting rid of him, by the way.
And what?
No disrespect to Arthur Zwane, but Chiefs were too hasty in getting rid of him.
He came in the season when they had a transfer embargo.
I know.
Who would have succeeded?
I told him he's crazy. I said, wait till they can buy players. You go in there when you've got your hands tied.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, but I concur with you. Rulani, just through consistently excellent performances, attractive football, managing a big squad, which isn't easy, as you say. We've seen the flip side, with Chelsea. We've seen the Chelsea massive squad come apart at the seams. They're struggling. And the constant theme that you're hearing is, well, how can you expect a manager to succeed with 33 players at training, Yeah. So kudos to Rulani for managing that process. Yeah. And but a good honorable mention to Hunty, I think.
Without a doubt. Rob, on that note, fantastic. Guys out there, let us know who you think should be coach of the season, young player of the season, and player of the season, and tweet me your questions for the next time Rob and I get together, which will be very soon, I can assure you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's the way you show us that you think we're doing a good job. Keep viewing. It's also the way you show us you think we're doing a good job. And we're happy to get controversial, guys. So ask us what you like. There'll be no pulling punches. We will say it like it is. And Rob and I both been in South African football a long, long time. We know lots of stories. Ask them and we'll tell you. Cheers. Cheers, Rob.
Cheers, Peter.